Hey, how's it going out there, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Cash, and this is Weekly Recap. What is Weekly Recap? I'm going to go over my week of operating a semi-truck in the United States for 1 week or less. I'm going to tell you about the week. I'm going to tell you what I did, how it went, everything that was involved. Well, mostly everything that was involved. I talk about my trucking company. I don't talk about my personal life. So you'll get most of the dynamic of the trucking business. But as far as the other things go, I don't really talk about the personal life stuff. I don't talk about my carrier. I am leased to an 80-20 split refrigerated carrier. I like them. I've been here 5-6 years now. Find you one you like and you can work with. If you want to do something similar to this, these numbers are not to brag. They are not to complain. This is just what happened to me for 1 week of trucking or less. I think this was a 5-day week, if I'm not mistaken. As I think about the loads here, I'll let you know. But I'm pretty sure this was like a 5-day. We'll call it 5.5 maybe. I got unloaded on that next day or something. I can't really remember. But it was 5-6 day week. And yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. If you remember last weekly recap, I finished up in Nebraska. I was in Omaha, and I actually went up to Omaha to get this load that I start my week off with. They called me, and I was in Missouri, and I was going to go home from Missouri, and then they were like, hey, we got this load that's going from Iowa to North Carolina. And they told me the rate on it, and I was like, okay, I'll take that. And so then they found me a load from Missouri over to Omaha. This load was out of Council Bluffs, so just right across the river. I think there's a river in between those two. I don't know. Across the state line, whatever the state line is. So let's talk about it. So I was in Omaha, across the river, Iowa, 2 stops in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. Pretty good load, 11 empty miles, 1211 loaded miles, and that equals 1222 total. 0 degrees. I like that 0 degrees. That beats a -10, I guess. 35,000 pounds, and that load paid $3,600. So that was that. And then come down to North Carolina. I headed all the way down to Georgia from Charlotte to pick up a load going back home out of Georgia. And I had already been out on the road for, I don't know how long it had been, 10 days at this point. So that's about when I'm ready to point it toward the house at the like, unless you got something that's just absolute money where I can take off like a whole week. At the 10-day mark, point it toward the Minnesota area because that's where I want to go. So I headed down to Georgia. I didn't even look for a load from North Carolina to Georgia because I wanted to have enough hours to smash that Georgia to Minnesota run. So I just headed down there, got me a break-in, picked up the load, and then took off like a bat out of hell. And that was Georgia to Minnesota, 189 empty miles, 1171 on the loaded miles, 1360 total miles, 25 degrees, 33,000 pounds, $2,200 that one paid. So that's the week. Finished it up, went home for a couple days, and yeah. So let's talk about the numbers of the week. It's going to be a short one, short and sweet. I knew what this was going to be when I started because I told them, hey, when I get to North Carolina, I want something back home. I don't want to be bouncing around. I've already been out for a week. And normally that's kind of my thing. I'm out for like 7 to 10 days. So when it starts to get down that 10-day mark, I'm like, we really need to get this thing home. So that's kind of why I did what I did during the week. $5,800 total gross revenue. Me and my carrier combined made $5,800. My 80% of that is $4,640. I ran 2,582 all miles, 200 of that on the dot, 200 empty miles, 2,382 loaded miles, and that is, let's talk about the per mile rate now, $2.25 all miles, $1.80, my 80%, and that's $2.43 a loaded mile. So there you go. Pretty productive week here. I'll take it, considering it's a 5-day week. I'm going home. It's like I'm just going home. That's all there is to it. So I like that when it ends up like that. I think I started this on like a Friday. I finished on a Wednesday, I think. So went home Wednesday, Thursday. I think I left out again Friday. They got me back on track on the load I've been doing every Friday. And you'll see a lot of that coming up in the future weekly recaps. I've been doing the same load over and over and over. The last 3 out of 4 Fridays I've done the same weekend load. It's about consistency. If you want to know how I feel about structuring business, which I hate that term to begin with, but if you want to know more how I feel about it, hang around to the end. I'll tell you more about it. I got some insight, if you'll call it that. Let's go over to variable costs real quick before we get to that. $877 in diesel. I need diesel. Thank God diesel prices are going down a little bit. Thank you, Lord. We're getting a little bit of reprieve on that. If you need help with that, stick around to the very, very end. I got a couple of ads I'll throw on there. But $877 on diesel, $153 on reefer fuel, $50 on DEF fluids, 0 tolls, 0 parking, 0 cat scales. Total variable cost $1,080. Yes, it's getting good out here. So bring over the $4,640 that my 80% and subtract out the $1,080 variable cost. That leaves me $3,560 left to do what I have to do with. So pretty productive week. I'll take it. I'll enjoy it. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day about consistency in trucking, and I think if you're going to structure your business, that's the key to it. Consistency. Okay? My top 3 things I will tell you in trucking that make for good business is number 1, consistency. Get freight that pays and is good, and you can get a lot of it, and rinse and repeat. Just rinse and repeat. Y'all see how I do it? Now, that's not for everybody, but that's how I like to do it. The second thing is no debt. No debt, yes. There's one thing you need. One thing you need to go bankrupt, and it's a debt. You need debt to go bankrupt. So if you got no debt, you're going to have a hard time going bankrupt. I'm just telling you. Business credit is a fallacy. It's a joke. Unless you're, I don't know why. Just stay away from credit, okay? It's my advice, I'm not telling everybody to do what I do, but I'm going to tell you how I do it, okay? Drive a car that you own a title to, okay? If you're going to borrow money on a truck, only borrow on one. One truck is the most I can borrow on. Now, if I got this one paid off, I could buy another one. But never owe on more than one truck at a time. Because you can only drive one truck at a time. That's my advice, okay? And, keep your bills down. I heard a great saying one time, if you can't buy 2 of them, you can't afford one of them. So if buying something puts you on broke street, then you can't afford it. But that's just my take on it. That's how I see it, and I'm a simpleton, so keep that in mind as well. So if you want to borrow a bunch of money and do your thing, you do your thing. But for me, I just don't enjoy owing a bunch of money to everybody. It's not a thing I like doing. I hate asking for money, number 1, because, I hate asking for anything, honestly. Like, I don't like being reliant on people. And the other thing is, do what you're supposed to do in business. If you agree to something, do it. Don't back out at the last minute, because That's how you ruin your personal and your business credit with a bunch of debt. But you will ruin your 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 personal, like, your word if you go around breaking those promises all the time. So those are the three things for me. Find consistent work if you know the best you can. It ain't always glamorous, and a lot of times in business, the best money in business is doing things that no one else wants to do. You have to find things that no one else wants to do, because if you're doing something glamorous, everybody's coming for that job. Everybody's coming for that work. So sometimes it pays to take the non-glamorous work. But those are my three things: consistency, debt-free, and follow your word and do what you say you're going to do. Those are my top three business insights for today. There'll be more in the future. That's just the three I've been thinking about this week a little bit. So that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. Be sure to smash that like button. Take care of each other out there. And remember, people are more important than trucking.
Hi, I want to talk to you real quick about the ES Advantage card. Do you need discounts at major truck stop chains? They got them. Do you need discount on shop rates at TA and Love's? They got them. Tire discounts. They even got health insurance now. Click the link down below. Easy application, no credit check. Sign up. They give you a call back, take all your information, and you'll be in the network. Do you need to save money by not idling your truck? Of course you do. That's why I'm introducing you to Zero Breeze today. Zero Breeze, a lightweight portable air conditioner that makes 5,280 BTUs of cooling power. Yes, you need this if you idle your truck overnight to stay cool. Yes, this will save you tons of money. Use my link below when you order, and I appreciate it.